Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium. Thank you for joining me today. Okay, so today we've got some exciting things happening in the world of politics and in the world of I like the new term someone used, ex POTUS. We're always trying to find a way to say his name without saying his name. So sometimes I use 45. Sometimes people use the former guy or TFG or a lot of other names. But anyway, he is in the news because of the assignment of a special master to go through the evidence that was collected by the FBI at Mar-a-Lago and to decide if any of that evidence shouldn't be included. In other words, it's personal of nature and it should not be included in the evidence. Now, what is particularly egregious about this situation is that the judge, which is a Trump-appointed judge, decided that the FBI could not. She enjoined the entire investigation, right? So the FBI supposedly cannot look at anything right now that has anything to do with the evidence that they collected at Mar-a-Lago. So everything has to stop. Like if there's like the guide said last week, that right now actually that the DOJ was going to be interviewing some very key witnesses about some very key evidence. Okay, that's what they said for between now and the 15th, okay, of September. And so that could stop that special master's assignment and the way she enjoined the whole investigation could literally stop all forward progress on the investigation of the former guy. Now, I have some good news to tell you. Now, I also have some news that you're probably not going to want to hear because this isn't Susan. I've already told you guys, my opinion is lock him up, throw away the key. We'll deal with those other traitors as we need to. So I have a very kind of hard line about this, but thankfully, truly, I'm not in charge of this deal because the good news is that this is why are they showing me Play-Doh? They're showing me kindergartners playing with Play-Doh. That is what the former guy and his legal team is. They're over there trying to build little forms out of Play-Doh. Meanwhile, Garland, the DOJ, Biden, et al. Are all over there, at an Ivy League school, at the highest level. So this is not a fair matchup. Another way to put this, someone said in the guides, particularly pointed me to this phrase and said, it explains it all, is that 45 and his very sad attorneys are playing checkers, and Garland and his amazing staff, and that includes many other people outside of the DOJ, are playing 3D chess. Checkers versus 3D chess. Okay, listen, I know it looks bad. I know it looks infuriating. I know we're all infuriated by it. But the good news is that Garland saw this coming. They're not idiots. They knew what was going to happen. 45 didn't even appoint a special master until a month or 6 weeks after the FBI went through Mar-a-Lago. Even if they enjoined the investigation, the guides are saying it doesn't matter. Okay, so when this all happened, I got to be honest with you, I was upset. The guides were nonplussed. They were like, we don't care. I'm like, well, I couldn't get them to be upset about it, and honestly, they're guides, right? You might say, well, they're interdimensional or higher ascended beings, right? They're not going to be upset. Well, I will say that sometimes they give me warnings, and they are pretty, there's energy behind it. If you watch my last video, I mean, basically I'm entranced and they're telling me this stuff, and I know my eyes are as big as like $50, but that's them. They're giving me this information. They feel this information is very important. They feel that there's energy and power behind it. When I started talking to them about the special masters, I couldn't even get them on the phone. It's like they were, I mean, I told everybody to take a vacation, but I didn't know my guides were going to take this so seriously. I think they're over there at Club Spirit, you know, and chilling out on the beach somewhere, because I could not even get them to answer me. It was like, that's not a problem. We don't care about that. I'm like, I care about it. People really care about this. We really need to talk about it. That's why I'm doing this video today. It took me 24 hours to get them to care about it, to get them off the Spirit Beach and into the newsroom again, back to work. I'm like, we're not taking a vacation now. Your time to take a vacation was over. We got to get back to work. Here's the deal. The deal is that there, Garland already he already knew this was going to happen. They knew what Judge 45 was going to use. It's really an unfair match. Okay, that's what they're saying. There's many remedies they're talking about, legal remedies to get around this. It's not going to cause a problem at all for Garland. This is nothing. Okay, they're not worried about the special masters, not at all. As a matter of fact, this is why they're at Club Beach. They're celebrating. They are celebrating. They've already seen how this story ends, and they're already celebrating. They're about 2 months ahead of us and in time. And you know, to them, this is like when the heavy hitters or the super professionals have done all their work and they're like done, and they leave. And then this third tier people or sports team or players come onto the field and just run the clock out because it's done. Okay. The special masters thing is not a big deal. They're going to find a way around that. There's many ways around that. They can move the jurisdiction to another state. It doesn't have to be in Florida. It can actually be in DC. It's not a problem. Okay. Now, this is the part you're probably not going to like to hear, but like I've always told you, it's not me, it's the spirit guides, and they're reading the energy of Garland. Now, I, in the past, haven't been a big fan of Garland. I'm coming around because, frankly, I'm just a few steps above playing with Play-Doh myself. I am certainly not a 3D chess player when it comes to this stuff. So I'm woefully inexperienced and underbrained to understand what these people that are building these traps really know and are doing. Okay. So the thing that you might not like is that this plays right into Garland's hands. It gives him cover. I think the guides mentioned this before, that he needed cover for another month of investigation. He needs, whether you agree with this or not, again, I'm sorry if you don't agree with it, but they need, I'm checking with them again because this stuff changes, but there were two camps. Remember the last video, there were two camps that had been clearly defined. One camp was like, lock him up, throw away the key, we'll deal with the insurgency. The other camp was no, that's rash, that's harsh, that's unnecessarily damaging to our democracy, to the people, to the rule of law, all the above, right? And their camps, the camps are still there, but okay, but I think there's starting to be some agreement in timing. Okay, so the camps are still there about how we get this done, but there's starting to be some real whatever, when two things come together. When I'm connected to the guides, I can't always, they're using the word coalition. Okay, a coalescing, that's the word. There's coalescing of the two groups that are coming together over the timeline. And this is the thing. This buys everybody cover to get us through the midterms. Okay. Today is a special day. I think it's today Bannon is being arrested. Check out the news. He's being arrested, and the guides have said in the past that when Bannon is arrested, that's going to trigger some things, some potential groups to become potentially violent. Okay. That was the trigger. The guides have been saying this for 6 months. specifically when they see Bannon with these, cuffs on, that picture is a trigger. It's already been decided for a year or 2 years that when certain things happen, it triggers a plan. Okay. So there's already that's going to happen. That's starting to happen. So the camps are really coming to an understanding that they want to wait until after the midterms to bring 45 down. Okay. Now the trap was to neutralize him. Right? That was the trap. The idea was we don't want to arrest him until after the midterms, but what we really want to do is we want to make him not able to run, not able to flee. We want to make him less able to, again, the words, less able to foment hate. Okay. They wanted to sort of muzzle him a little bit. We cannot muzzle him until we've got the final trap, but as much as they can, that's what they wanted to do. That's what the first trap was. He's hooked. He's swimming around. He's hooked. Okay. Now, this is all playing into Garland's hands. Nobody's upset. This is as it should be, is what I hear. This judge that did these special masters is going to be disbarred. They have told me she's going to go down. This is beyond the pale of unprofessionalism. It's unethical. In some ways, they allowed this to happen so that they could nab one of his judges. Nab is a word that they use often when they mean grab or take out of action. Basically, this is going to be the thing that brings her down. Again, they're telling me right now, I know, listen, I know you guys are upset. I get it. I'm just telling you what they're telling me. Allowing 45 to run around like a chicken with his head cut off is actually exposing more people. It's exposing more of his, well, they said the underbelly of the operation. It's exposing more people to crimes that they've committed. So it is causing damage for sure. But I think in the DOJ's eyes, it's weighing your options. It's worth more to them to scoop up some more judges, to scoop up some more attorneys and get them disbarred. It's worth more to them to also, they just now told me that this thing with Bannon being arrested and that triggering some of these groups, MILITIA, is good. This is also good. I see Susan would never think this is good. Like, this is not something that I would think is good. However, it's good because what does it do? It brings those few remaining groups that haven't already been co-opted or shut down by the DOJ because of Jan 6. It brings them it flushes them out of their hidey holes, and then boom, law enforcement can arrest them. This is a good thing because this is happening before the midterms. So the more we can flush these cretins out of their holes and arrest them and defang them or I don't know what the word they're using. I don't know why they're saying deauthorize. Sometimes these words I don't understand. But, deauthorize, I guess, would mean in a way, if you take the leaders out, you're cutting off the leadership, right? And so there's not authorization there to start something or lead something around the midterms. So you can see how this is 3D chess. To me, it just looks like a mess. It looks terrible. It looks uncontrolled. It looks like a runaway train, which is a song that they've been singing to me lately. But it's not. It's a controlled fire is what it is. It's a controlled fire. maybe it's going to get out of its bounds, and that's unfortunate. But there's going to be too many more benefits that are going to outweigh whatever problems that we cause. I mean them, cause for the benefits. Okay, cost benefit analysis. Also, I want to tell you that this morning, that when I use words like the DOJ, and I shouldn't, because this morning they're now calling a group the team. Okay, they're calling a group of prosecutors, including ones at the DOJ and some particular people in the Senate and the House, and they're calling those people the team, which is important because it's not the DOJ, right? This is very much cross-discipline, and it includes prosecutors in other states. If you get what I'm saying, okay, DAs and prosecutors in other states. To be honest with you, this team also has IRS investigators. Ooh, they give me chills. IRS investigators. So think about, you want to talk about 3D chess. Think about a team like that meets discreetly and is able to have not just one discipline or one department, multi-disciplined. You know, we've got the IRS, we've got the DOJ, we've got the House, we've got the Senate, we've got DAs and prosecutors in states. Okay, that's the net. That's the big net that they often talk about that is going to come in together. That is also, right now, we're starting to see those hundreds of arrows, those 100 arrows flying. It's you know, so many people are getting arrested right now. Let's also talk about, is it okay to move on? Let's also talk about the recent news about the discovery of top secret nuclear information that was part of the top secret documents that 45 had for over a year in a very unsecure place in Mar-a-Lago. Remember when the guides were talking about him being radioactive, right? This is also another connection to the nuclear. The man had the nuclear information for other countries as well as our own. Also in the news is the fact that allies are involved. Remember how they talked about an ally buying information and then circumventing it back to us. I see what really brings him down. The information, oh my God. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to say this in as general way as I can, but it's quite a bombshell that they just gave me. Let's just say, what if, let's just use a hypothetical. What if this is 3D chess, guys. I don't even play chess. I don't even understand 3D chess. What if the search at Mar-a-Lago was much needed, but at the same time was a red herring? Because they knew that they were going to be stopped. I mean, they need that information. They've got the information. They've had it for a month. They took that evidence and then ran down subsequent evidence. The subsequent evidence that they've run down from the original bolus of information is not a part of the bolus of evidence. So whatever evidence they have from the initial evidence that they got from Mar-a-Lago is free game. Plus, they can take all of it and move jurisdiction to DC. So I'm not saying that Mar-a-Lago is not important. I'm telling you, in the bigger scheme of things, in the 3D chess, Mar-a-Lago is not as significant as we would think. Again, why the guides are like, oh, special masters, who cares? Right? Because what I saw last week, and I don't know what I've told you, I'll put it like this. If the camp wins that brings 45 down and doesn't care, does not care about friendly fire or the consequences of doing so. If you understand what I'm saying, if we bring 45 down in handcuffs, there's going to be consequences in our country. Now, maybe it's worth it. I'm not saying it is, it isn't. I'm saying that is going to happen. So let's say that camp wins. And they're like, we're going to bring him down, and we're going to bring him down. Guess what the guide said in December? That's what they've been saying all along. The thing gets locked down in November after the midterms. Now, the midterms are going to be shaky for a few weeks. It's not going to be pretty. I'm just going to tell you right now, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be shaky. Nailing down the votes, nailing down, the problems, the uprising. Okay, so we deal with that. We get things quelled, is the word they want to use. And then in December, what brings him down is another country. Remember when they said the trap part 2 involves another country? I couldn't understand it. I don't play 3D chess. They weren't telling me everything too, which is probably a good thing, right? But this other country is now in play because of the nuclear secrets that were found in 45's documents, top secret documents. These other countries are now going to become a little bit more public, not just yet. But what brings them down is these other countries, which are, I'm just going to describe them as allies once again, and I'm going to describe them as very supportive, very strong allies of the United States. These countries, their Secret Service, their version of the FBI or CIA, whatever it is, I'm not going to say it, whatever that thing is, they show up at the courtroom. We actually have, operatives from other country come and corroborate his crimes, testify against him. Okay, this is how you defang. This is the word they keep wanting to use. Although I will say, at the very last minute, after I heard defang or saw, I don't know, I'm getting all the clairs. Okay, so I see pictures, I hear words, and I have knowings all at the same time. It's like a freaking communication blizzard up there. But at the last minute, they did show me him being deballed. So there is that too, okay? They chopped off his cojones, okay? It's rough up there, you guys. It's rough up there. Okay, so anyway, where was I? Because they showed me that picture at the last minute, and I didn't, thankfully, I am grateful that I did not see human anatomy, nor what I would think to be human anatomy 45's cojones. Okay, I did not see that. I saw more like a bull getting castrated. Okay, that's kind of, and it was very quick, like literally 5 seconds. So thank God for that, because I would just toss my cookies right now. Where in the world am I? What am I talking about? Come on, y'all. Okay. Right. What brings him down? What brings him down is testimony that cannot be denied. I hesitate to say these words because we all know who we're dealing with, but testimony that cannot be denied by the Trumpers, right? You and I have all tried to talk sense into these people. My God, everybody's tried to talk sense into them. Instead, they double down on stupidity. They double down on their man. They don't care. They simply, facts and figures do not matter, okay? But for some reason, and I don't know why, being embarrassed by another country that you really like and you really hold in esteem kind of does it for them. It kind of does it for them. It's kind of like that wakes them up. Like they're like, what? And then they realize, okay, my conspiracy theory has to go international now, right? Like I can't just say that it's I can't just say that it's the libs or whatever, or Biden or Hunter or Pelosi. I can't just say that anymore, right? So also I saw, and I don't know, they just told me it's going to happen. So I guess I'll go on record and we'll see if they're right or not. I saw and see Pence testifying against 45. So now we all know they don't really care much for Pence, and we all know they don't really care much for Cheney. And, so really who cares, right? And that's what Jan 6 has done a great job of. They've drug up all of Trump's own people and put them on record, including his own attorneys, everybody, right? But that you will see more of that. So does all this make sense, right? There's nothing to worry about the special master. Let them do what they're going to do. Garland is going to sidestep it eventually. Garland is going to use this for cover. The team is going to use this for cover to buy time to get us through the election. The election is going to be bad enough. Okay, they're telling me to tell you, because I know you guys, I know you're freaking out. I know. I'm freaking out too. I really am. I see even more than I tell you guys. If you're freaking out, just imagine what Susan is doing. But they want me to tell you, as bad as whatever 45 is doing to create chaos, okay? As bad as what he's doing is right now, getting out with the meetings and the rallies and whatever, as bad as all that is, okay? It's going to be 10 times worse if we put him in chains, if we lock him up. Okay, again, they're weighing their options. They're weighing, how bad is it going to be if we do this? How bad is it going to be if we do that? And they have more intel than you or I do. Okay, so I'm just going to go on record and say that I trust the team. I trust Garland. I trust Biden. They know more than us. This is in hand. The guides want to say this is in hand. We got this. They're already celebrating. They're already at Club Spirit sitting on the beach. So if you can, and I understand that this may not be easy, if you can, maybe do some more deep breathing, maybe do some more meditating, maybe do even less news, because it's going to look like a cluster flock. It really is. It's going to look bad. But we need to keep our eyes on the horizon, okay? The last thing I'm going to say is regarding the midterms, because this is what I'm worried about, right? Like right now, my concern is we need this blue wave to materialize. We need to let it continue building. And there's some energy to suggest that it's not anything that Trump can do. Okay, Trump is not riling up his base. Okay, he's not. His base is again lethargic. They're just not going to come out in numbers. But if we do something against him, they will come out in numbers. Okay, now this thing with Bannon being arrested is going to energize them to a degree. But again, the team said it's worth it to take out some of these militias's, which are going to pop their little heads up out of the ground and take the hit at the polls. Okay, they just said something else while I was talking to you. I was good. Are you going to bring it back, or is it something I need to just leave? Okay, they brought it back around to me, the thing that they were talking about, and it's just the last thing I'm going to say for sure. And that is that because they need to they want, right. Okay. Right. There's this part of it. Right. Oh, right. They're going to drag or troll 45 for the next 60 days. That would be October, November. Well, that's 60 days to the election, so that makes sense. For the next 60 days, they're going to drop little bombs of information out, right? Like they let it leak about this nuclear secrets that Trump just had laying around somewhere, right? That really truly has spooked and sparked a lot of fear in the international community. Okay. That part is real. That part that is, those people are upset. So they're going to continue to just drop information. Let's use the word leak. They're going to continue to leak information between now and the midterms. What they're doing is trying 45 in the court of public opinion. They're trying him in the court of public opinion. They want to embarrass these Republicans so much that they don't want to go vote for any Republicans. They just want to stay home. They're embarrassed. Even these really, I don't know why they're calling them Twinkies, but anyway, even these Twinkie people that are, I don't get it, that are just so bought into the narrative that they literally can't do anything else. You may hear your friends talk a big game, but they very well may stay home. They very well may stay home on election day. This is also buying time, right? There's no reason to put him in jail when you can literally try him in the court of public opinion week after week after week, all the way up to the midterms, and just build the anger and frustration on the left, build the anger and frustration of the center voters, build the anger and frustration on those Republicans that aren't really Trumpers, that really will go in that poll, in that booth, and choose D, because no one knows what you're voting, because they know that all of a sudden this isn't for them. We can't have our foes learning the nuclear codes to America or to our allies. This is too far. This is a lane, a road, a line too far. This is part of the master game. This is part of the 3D chess. So you understand why the guides are over at Club Beach, Spirit, hanging out, relaxing. To them, it's over. Again, the A team is left. All that's left are the third string players that are just out there getting some experience. This is what they say. Now, this is not to say that any of us need to take the pressure off. This is not to say that we can relax. We all need to get busy. There's a lot to do. What our role is to protect the voters who are standing in the lines. Our role is to be poll watchers. Our role is to video things that we see. If you see something, say something, video it. Not just one of you, 5 of you, everybody, video. Put it on social media. As we know, it's the only way we get justice around here is to video it and put it on social media. I'm sorry to say, but many of the police departments or whatever it is don't seem to be interested in really wading into this big morass, this big problem, and doing what justice would require. So they're often looking the other way. That's where we come into our busy work. Also, they just said, support the candidates. We've said this before. They're saying it again. If you have a candidate in your local, even if it's running for school board, support them. Go to their rallies. Give them $5. Bring them bagels for breakfast. Walk them to their car. Drive by their house. Check on them. Check on their kids. Be an ally. Walk their kids to the school bus. Be an ally. Understand there's going to be a lot of intimidation going on here. We all have to stick together. We cannot leave these candidates out there with no help and no support. So this is what we do. If you've got energy and you're angry and you want to funnel that energy somewhere, this is where the spirit guides would like for you to do that. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Leave your comments below. I really appreciate that as well. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. It really helps the channel. If you, something you Democrats can do, if you're involved in Democrat groups in your state or in your town, you may think about sharing some of the psychic Democrat predictions with your Democrat groups just to start conversation. And who knows, you might walk one of those people off the ledge the same way that we've been walked off the ledge by watching people predicting things that are going to happen. It just helps you deal with things better. So think about sharing our videos, all of our community. And thank you again for watching. You take really good care. We'll catch up with you soon right here on this channel.